To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with rolls?
Just the end of the world.
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, January 11th, 2020. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare, aspiring professional fanboy.
And I'm Sara, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And this week, we have 0 fresh episodes, 1 flashback episode, and a little bit, not a flashback, retro pick, and a little bit of news. Yay.
Yeah. yeah. This is the last week of the retro picks, Sarah.
I'm gonna miss them. They were fun.
Yeah. Lots of fun stuff. This week we're doing Birds of Prey, because there's a Birds of Prey movie coming out in about a month. So I and this is gonna be a fun series to look back on. I can't wait for the conversation.
Yes.
Thank everybody for listening. Just a little bit of quick housekeeping. If we do have an email address if people want to drop us a line. It's dctv@wickedtheory.com. And we are part of Wicked Theory Studios. And Wicked Theory does have a Patreon. So it's patreon.com/Wicked Theory. And, for as little as $1 a month, you could just help us out with our overhead that just basically covers our bandwidth. And there's a free podcast there that you can listen to called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I force our esteemed founder and executive producer, Bill Sweeney, to watch James Bond movies. Last one we watched was License to Kill. Sarah, do you remember License to Kill, the second Timothy Dalton Bond film?
I super do not.
Oh, you don't remember Robert Davi as a Colombian drug lord?
Isn't that all of them? No.
No.
That's not. I guess no. Actually, Colombian drug lord is kind of weird for James Bond, isn't it?
Yes, it is. and also a extremely young Benicio del Toro.
Interesting.
As the menacing Dario. We showed her a nice honeymoon. I love that line. But enough about that. Sarah, how are you doing?
Good. I'm settled into 2020 nicely. I am enjoying the year so far. It has been interesting. It's been an eventful first couple weeks of the year. How about you?
I'm good.
Oh, how was your birthday? Happy belated birthday.
Good. My birthday was yesterday. It was fun. I went into the city, watched a couple of foreign movies. So I've seen this Pain and Glory from Spain and Les Miserables from France. And
how was the singing?
No, it was non-musical. No, not at all. It was basically like a French version of Training Day.
So I wonder if in France, do they have to resist the urge to name everything Les Miserables? Like, is that kind of the go-to?
I don't know. Well, the way they set it up is that it takes place in the town where Victor Hugo wrote the novel, but it's a contemporary story. So I guess it's just saying yeah, we're still screwed. Because that
sounds fun for your birthday.
Yeah, no, but that was fine. But it was fine because the other movie I got to see Antonio Banderas start trying heroin. So
I don't know if I'd like that. I need Antonio Banderas to stay exactly the way he was in Desperado. That's, in my mind, Antonio Banderas is frozen in amber in Desperado, and that's how I like it.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. I came home, dinner, had Chinese food with my folks. And Bill Sweeney was there.
Aw.
So yeah, good times.
Does Bill get along with your parents?
He got along last night. Yeah.
That is an interesting answer.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, they get along. And afterwards we shot a video and did some prep work for my new YouTube channel, which launched yesterday as well.
Ooh, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so Geek Sports Haven. You can subscribe on YouTube. And right now there's just an intro video of me doing like a quick mission statement. But the whole idea is that I love geeky stuff and I love sports, and I think that they're the same. I don't think they're that different. And so I'm going to riff on both and try to bring both sides of the fandom spectrum together. So yeah. We got the football playoffs this weekend, and the Oscar nominations are coming out on Monday. Plus, we've got the Crisis coming to a conclusion. So there's a lot to talk about. So I'm just gonna throw up some fun, quirky videos. There's one coming that'll probably be up by the time this episode drops, talking about a syndrome that I've developed, as a result of having seen the movie Cats. So. Mm-hmm.
Is it fleas? Did you get fleas?
No, just like randomly and without warning. It's a neurological disorder. I emotionally relive the film, it's quite traumatic. So I'm doing everything I can to get awareness out. So maybe scientists will start researching it. But since it's an extremely rare condition, people aren't paying as much attention to it as they should.
All right, fair. Well, I look forward to seeing how this develops, and we'll see if you can turn me into a sports person. Narrator, he won't turn her into a sports person, but I look forward to seeing you try.
It's all about the storyline, Sarah. It's all about the narrative.
That's for professional wrestling, isn't it?
Yes, but I think it can also be applied to all sports.
Okay. Well, I look forward to watching this unfold.
Cool. Yeah. Let's get down to business. I think that's enough plugs. Sarah, you ready to start the news?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with news about the CW Arrowverse and the crossover.
Okay.
And good news, everything was renewed for next season. Yay! Obviously not Arrow. It's announced that that's been ending, but all the other shows that we always have going are coming back. So we are getting more Batwoman, Supergirl, Flash, Legends, Black Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, right?
Batwoman, Supergirl, Flash, Black Lightning, and Legends. Yeah.
Legends. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's great. Nothing about any of the proposed spin-offs and things like that are in the works. So we'll still have to wait and hear about that.
So
but, that was good news.
Yeah. So anyone who's speculating that Supergirl might be ending this season, go scratch.
Suck an egg.
Go scratch.
Apparently, you and I are like toughs from the 1920s, like the old 1920s, not the current 20s. So. Yeah. We also have a poster for parts 4 and 5 of Crisis that has been released, and it shows Oliver Queen front and center as Spectre, which prompted great consternation by nerds online. Can you explain the nerd consternation?
Well, I don't know exactly what it, but the grumble I would expect is, because Spectre is meant to be a very stoic figure, and he usually has pale white skin because he's a ghost.
Because he's a specter?
Yes. He's clean shaven, and and usually his hood is covering his eyes. So And in the poster, Oliver is doing none of those things. So
shakes fist at sky. We didn't talk about this before, and this isn't really news, but Stephen Amell did tweet that he needed to start working out for his new show, Heels, because those billboards of him in a Speedo aren't going to make themselves. So that's just tangential. I feel like I just need everybody to know that apparently there's a Speedo in the works for his new show.
Well, also, funnily enough, the Spectre in his original costume, he just has the cape and hood and a green Speedo. That's all he wears. So I'm guessing that
seems really impractical.
Well, again, he's a ghost, so
if I'm a ghost and I'm in a Speedo, I'm going to be a really angry ghost. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, so that's it for the crossover. Moving on to Watchmen, which also becomes kind of our awards segment. Watchmen is up for a slew of awards, and I suspect this is not the last time we're going to talk about Watchmen and awards, but for now, those awards are the Directors Guild of America, the DGA Awards. Nicole Castle is up for directing the pilot, and Stephen Williams is up for directing This Extraordinary Being, which is the flashback episode 6. So that's two. Two episodes of your show up for an award like that is really saying something. So yay. And then the GLAAD Award nominations are out, and Watchmen is up for Outstanding Drama Series, as well as individual episode again for This Extraordinary Being. And Supergirl and Batwoman are also up for Outstanding Drama Series for the GLAAD Awards. So lots of DC rep this year at the awards so far.
That's cool. That's great. I'm especially glad with the Directors Guild nominations because Watchmen was overlooked by the Golden Globes this year.
Baffling. The Globes love to award new shows and new people, and it baffles me that Watchmen didn't get anything. I don't know if it just came too late.
Yeah, I don't know. But to me, the Directors Guild nomination is a good sign for Watchmen come the Emmys next fall.
Mm-hmm.
So
Watchmen feels like something the Emmys are going to eat up. So
yes,
we'll see. Okay, let's see. Moving on to Lucifer, we have big casting, mega big casting. God is in the house, and God will be played by Dennis Haysbert.
Now, which character do you think is going to ask Dennis Haysbert if we're in good hands?
Lucifer, 100%. So yeah, this is what am I trying to say here? This feels sort of straightforward for casting on Lucifer. Like if you want God in a straightforward movie, yeah, Dennis Haysbert. Like he's got the gravitas. I do feel like I'm good hands. I do. That's a very God thing. I expected this to be a little quirkier, I guess, maybe?
Yeah. I was wondering if it was going to be someone like Elton John or William Shatner.
Don't stop suggesting, because those sound fun. And I don't mean to grouse at all. I think he's going to be great. And maybe he's really funny. I don't know. Maybe Dennis Haysbert does quirky, and I just haven't ever seen it.
Oh, well, Major League. Serrato. You don't.
That deafening silence is me when you bring up sports again.
No, the movie Major League and
Yeah, no, I saw it at the time.
He plays the outfielder who's into voodoo.
Was he wacky? That sounds.
Yes.
Wait, is he the one that had like the chicken bones?
Yes.
Or something.
Yes.
Okay.
The chicken bones. Serrano. Just try. Yeah. He had to pray to the voodoo god so he could hit home runs. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then in Major League 2, he became friends with the pitcher Tanaka, who was the quirky Japanese pitcher. they were a great double team in Major League 2 and Major League Back to the Minors. Oh, I miss Scott Bakula.
He's not dead. He's just on NCIS New Orleans.
Like I said, I miss Scott Bakula. So yeah,
if DC TV ever folds up shop, Ed, can we do a podcast rewatching Quantum Leap? Can that be our thing when all the DC shows dry up?
Yeah, that would be great. Bill Sweeney would have to be much more involved because he is a huge fan of that show as well.
Maybe you should just do it with Bill. Fine.
No. If anything, you should do it with Bill. And
there you go.
But yeah, no, that's a great idea.
If you need to cut this out so nobody steals it, I respect that.
That's okay. So Dennis Haysbert is God, everybody.
Yay. Yeah, so that's exciting. We have no release date on that, no information there, but I'm sure, what with the fresh year here, we'll start getting some news at some point. Moving on to Why
based
music. On Why the Last Man on FX. Hey everybody, the show is still alive, but it is still in pre-production. The network has seen 5 to 6 scripts. They're very excited, but they're not actually producing it yet. So
yeah, now they shot a pilot.
That's not great.
They shot a pilot, right? Are they completely discarding that? Are they going to reshoot it? Or
it sounds like they're starting from scratch. Since they had the shuffle in the showrunner seat, I think the new showrunner came in and kind of wanted to do her own thing. So they're just starting over. So
okay,
it's nice to hear that it's still moving forward and they're producing scripts. But I don't know, Ed, if we get the announcement that they're just not doing it anymore, would you be surprised?
I would not. Man, this is such a great concept. I want to see the show. Especially with the whole, yeah. I think everything with FX now just seems up in the air because it's now FX on Hulu. And that whole seat change. So,
because they have stuff on FX on Hulu that's not going to actually be on FX, right?
Yes, that is right.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but for right now, it's still alive.
Yeah. Yes, and I hope it happens.
Yeah,
fingers crossed. Yeah. Last bit of news, Ed, are you ready? We've got a new show to add to the mix.
New show. What do we got?
It rhymes with Shmoo Schmeedle.
Working up.
Yeah. Rumors that a Blue Beetle show are in the works at HBO Max. Is in the works. Let me try that again. Blue Beetle, rumored to be in the works at HBO Max. This is very cool. I would have thought, I feel like they've mentioned Blue Beetle in the CW verse fairly often, haven't they? Like, that's been one of the bigger name drops.
Well, yeah, Ted Cord always comes up.
Ted Cord?
Mm-hmm. Who is the Silver Age Blue Beetle. And I'm guessing that if they're going to do this show on HBO Max, Blue Beetle's, because there was a Blue Beetle and Booster Gold movie that Greg Berlanti's been attached to for a while. And that's usually with the Ted Cord Beetle. My guess is with this Blue Beetle, they'll do the current version of Blue Beetle, which is Jaime Reyes, which is like, if you read those comics, it is a great concept where he's a Mexican American kid living in a border town, who all of a sudden gets comes in contact with an alien scarab that binds with his body and turns him into the Blue Beetle. So yeah, and that could be a lot of fun. And it's great visuals. I can't imagine how they would pull off. They've tried doing that version of Blue Beetle on Smallville and couldn't really handle it with their budget. But
bless.
Yeah, I'd love to see HBO try.
This joins the HBO Max roundup of, what is it, DMZ, Superhero High, Green Lantern, Strange Adventures. So they have an ambitious slate that they're rumored to be developing in various stages. So we'll see how many of them actually come to fruition. This one is very early in the rumor series, but it was reported by comicbook.com. It seems like there's some smoke here. I would not have told you fine people about it if I didn't think this seemed like one of the more serious conversations HBO Max was having. So yeah, that's exciting. Yay. I will say a little part of me died when I got on Twitter just to see what people were saying about it. Everybody's like, if they're going to do something garbage like Blue Beetle, we're surely going to get the Snyder cut. And I just closed Twitter.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going on. All right, that's it for the news.
So that's it for news. Yeah.
So now we get to our retro pick. Sarah, we're going back to October 9th, 2002. Are you ready?
I am. I was not ready when I hit play on this pilot, but I'm ready now.
All right, so we're going to talk about Birds of Prey series premiere. Several years after Batman's disappearance, the Huntress, aka Helena Kyle, patrols New Gotham with Oracle, aka Barbara Gordon, in her ear. Young telepath Dinah Redmond arrived in New Gotham after seeing Helena and Barbara in her dreams. Prominent businessmen in Gotham began committing suicide for no apparent reason. Last-minute reveal, Helena and Barbara shared a moment on the roof as Michelle Branch sang All You Wanted.
Oh my God. Why did this feel like the 90s?
Well,
didn't it?
The other thing to remember, this is not a CW show. This is the WB.
Fair. Okay, so maybe it didn't feel like a 90s show so much as it just felt like a WB show.
Yes. And like I always, I mean, the joke with CW shows, it's like you got to cast pretty people, but I feel like WB, like watching this, had a whole other thing going on. Just really, really pretty people with the guest stars. This is a show before its time. If they tried this 15 years later, if they tried to do a Birds of Prey show now, I feel like you could do it with the same script and it would, they would have so much better chance of success.
That was my thought too, was if the CW announced that this show in this incarnation was in development, I wouldn't even blink. Of course it is. Like, of course it is. In fact, I might be more excited about that than the Canary spinoff.
Yeah.
And that's just because I don't super love a lot of the Canaries that they've given us.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing, so here's the thing with this show. Came out in 2002. It was exactly a year after Smallville premiered. So WB tried Smallville and, let's try a Superman show where we don't really have Superman, and thought, okay, that's working. So let's take a chance and try to do a Batman show without Batman, which is something that we've seen like, another 4 times in the last 15 years. And this was the first attempt at it. And I think I almost feel like, so this was, this script was written and the show was developed for television by Leda Kalogridis. And I almost feel like she probably just stripped the dialogue straight out of a comic book. Because the dialogue, it feels very comic booky and almost kind of stilted because a lot of it's just exposition and really, really awkward. But all of the concepts in here, just the whole idea of that this is a Batman show with vigilantes, but we're gonna talk all about metahumans. It just feels like a lot to try to put on a 2002 audience.
It did feel like, it felt like kind of the Batwoman setup meets that metahuman Flash vibe. It was an interesting little beast. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I would keep watching if the season mid-season premieres weren't coming up. I would be much more likely to keep watching this, but we're going to get busy with actual fresh episodes. But yeah, no, this was fun.
Yeah.
Also, we did have a moment where Jason and I said in unison, "Is that Jesse Pinkman?"
Yes. Yeah. So we have back-to-back Breaking Bad guest stars, which was not intentional. I did pick the Flash episode because Bryan Cranston was in it. I had no idea that Aaron Paul shows up in the Birds of Prey premiere.
That's how Aaron Paul just shows up in your life. You have no idea, but there he is.
Yeah, as Jerry, who's the really nice guy that Dinah meets on the bus, who, when she goes to meet him later that night, just turns into an ultimate creeper.
Oh yeah, that was inevitable. He was such a baby. Oh my God.
Yes.
Speaking of such a baby, I didn't know the setup. So I didn't know that we were going into an established world with Huntress and Oracle, and that Dinah then would be just sort of dropping in. And she was so much younger than the other two, but Rachel Scarsden playing Alice on Batwoman right now is Dinah.
Yes.
So crazy. Which I guess I probably knew when she was cast. I'm sure that was part of the conversation. I just didn't remember it.
I did not remember. I didn't even figure that out until I went to pull up the credits for prepping the episode. When I looked at IMDb, I had no idea, and she looks completely different.
Completely different.
Yes. And I think we should so Rachel Scarsden plays Dinah Lance. The other main stars of the show are Ashley Scott as Helena Kyle, Dina Meyer as Barbara Gordon. Other series regulars include Shamar Moore as Jesse Reese, Ian Abercrombie as Alfred Pennyworth, and Mia Sara as Dr. Harleen Quinzel. And
that is just a wild lineup.
Yes. So yeah, Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld as Alfred, which I actually think he does a decent job. And for some reason they make him the narrator of the show. Shamar Moore, it's like, oh yeah, that guy's going to be on Criminal Minds for 15 years. And you can see him on SWAT now. And Mia Sara, throwback to Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Time Cop. Yeah, I actually I was really bugged with the way they handled her character in this episode. Because I feel like the fact that it's Dr. Harleen Quinzel should have been a big reveal, and they just tell you that on the door of her office in the middle of the episode. And I watched that like, you idiots. Like, everyone knows that's Harley Quinn. That's, and they decide, no, we're just going to tell you straight up because no one's going to know. It's like, oh, come on. You guys are jerks.
Did they, this is my only exposure to this Birds of Prey, but you watched the series. Does she become Harley Quinn in the first season, or did they not get there?
I think in the last episode it's revealed who she is. But she's the secret bad for the whole series.
Okay, and we saw the bad because there was that indication at the end of the episode. But that's I don't know. I kind of like the Harley version where she's just a normal smart lady and then gets all jokered.
Yeah, I thought that was good, but we should not have found out her name until the end of the episode. That was my
that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get I'm just when I did my IMDb thing, Ashley Scott, I know her from Jericho. Yeah, because in 4 years she's going to be on that Nuclear Apocalypse Kansas show, which I'll admit I watched every episode of eagerly. So that's what I know her from, and of course Dina Meyer from Starship Troopers. She's Dizzy Flores. Hello.
Yes, and she did a bunch of the Saw movies, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
But I mean, she's Diz in my heart. So
yeah. So talented cast. Everyone, I think everyone is in this is still working, except of course Ian Abercrombie because he's dead.
Thanks.
Now, Sarah, tell me what you thought of the opening narration in the preview that we get as the setup for the story that featured Batman, Joker, and Catwoman.
It was brisk. I felt it was brisk. They just moved us through a lot of stuff. I was interested that they really made that the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, a decade later, that was really interesting. I kind of understand when you watch like Batman the Animated Series that I feel like they reference. Well, it's interesting to me that they were referencing those movies in a 2001, 2002 show. But yeah, it was. I was sad that Catwoman was dead. Batman just likes to abandon Gotham. Apparently, there's so many narratives about Batman's just like peace. Yeah, it was brisk. What did you think about the Joker work there?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's the Joker. I do think it was interesting that they got Mark Hamill's voice.
But not his person.
Yes. It was an actor named Roger Stoneburner is uncredited as the physical Joker. I didn't mind it. I thought I think a lot of muddled choices in this show. And that is something you could definitely tell. Like they literally took those costumes straight off the rack. That's the same stuff that Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer was wearing. And
I thought they took them off the rack at like a cheap Halloween store.
Oh, I mean, maybe, but yeah, no, like I feel like these are the costumes we have on hand. We don't need to make a new one or worry about a new design. So they just threw those on, and I mean it's weird because like it seems like it's connecting to the Tim Burton Batman, but then you have these elements of the animated series, and it's just so comic book with the metahuman stuff. Yeah. I really wish that they'd waited to do this show. I remember liking it when I was a kid and being really into it, and then realizing like, oh, I only understand this because I read the comics. And that layman, this could be really hard for someone just going in to be able to keep up with.
Well, I just enjoyed the way the world was established. Just that we're not forming a team, they have a team, they're doing it.
Yes.
And so I kind of like dropping into that established relationship like that.
Yes, that was good. And I think the performances in here are really great. I think all of the leads are solid. I think they establish Gotham. There's definitely a lot of elements that you see showing up later in Arrow and the Flash. The whole idea that Helena Kyle works in a is a bartender at a nightclub, who evidently her shift ends at like 9 o'clock.
I was gonna say that feels like hard to fight crime if you're at a nightclub, because crime happens at night.
Well, she does the early shift, Sarah.
I like that she rolls without a mask. It is so obviously her.
Yes. So, yeah.
Also, Catwoman powers were genetic, apparently.
Yeah. These are changes that they made. So here's the other thing that's weird. The Birds of Prey comic came out in the late 90s. It was originally written by Chuck Dixon, and it was originally just a team up between Oracle and Black Canary, and then Huntress came in later. This changes that, and like that version of Black Canary is like the established superhero, who's basically the version of White Canary that we've seen on Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, where she's an expert martial artist. She also does have the Canary Cry, and this version of Dinah does not have that. In the series later on, I will tell you, the classic Black Canary does show up, and you find out that's Dinah's mother. And
I saw on IMDb that she's played by somebody I recognize.
she's played by Lori Loughlin.
Aha, yes, that's it.
Yes.
Huh. Huh.
And so that's Huntress is just a vigilante. What's funny is the original version of Huntress was on Earth 2. And she was the daughter of Batman and Catwoman. And basically in Earth 2, after Batman is killed, she becomes she fights alongside Dick Grayson as Robin in a horribly ugly costume. But then post-Crisis, this version of Huntress in the comics is the version that we saw on Arrow later, which is Helena Bertinelli, who's the daughter of a mafia crime boss who decides to become a vigilante. And that was the version of Huntress that was in the Birds of Prey comic at the time. So there was a lot of creative leeway in here. And interesting that they're throwing that in the that they're deciding to take all this comics lore and mix it up in the TV show to actually make it much denser. Like they could have done this. This could have been a lot simpler. But I guess they wanted to make Dinah younger because it's the WB, and you got to get in teenagers.
Gotta have chokers. Gotta have velvet chokers.
Oh, there's one part where Barbara tells Dinah, "Okay, you could stay here, but you've got to go to school." And I'm thinking, she's 32. Why does she have to go to school?
Because that's what they did on Beverly Hills 90210. Those 40-year-olds were in school.
Yes.
And that's how we like it.
Yes.
I do think that cat meow, when Huntress activates, needed to go.
Yeah. Huntress has never had metahuman powers, but that's because Catwoman doesn't have metahuman powers, but Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman did. So Huntress is going to have them. Also, the idea that Huntress is half metahuman. You're either meta or you're not.
I was just sad about what it said about the Bat-Cat relationship, because I love those two, and if they had a kid together and she didn't grow up with her dad, that makes me sad.
Yeah. I wonder what it's going to be like when she meets Bruce Wayne in like season 3.
We will never know.
You'll never know.
Jason, who was watching with me, was super amused that they mentioned the meteor shower bringing about meta powers because it was a year after Smallville, and that's Smallville's raison d'etre for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So we kind of enjoyed that crossover sense.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, like, if this show had hit, would they have tried to cross this over with Smallville? If they would have tried to do an Arrowverse with these two shows. Yeah, and it's also a shame that this failed, because it really kind of put the kibosh on other superhero shows for and basically until Arrow came along.
So do we think part of the reason it failed is because of the weird black and white dream sequence fight scenes?
I think that's part of it. I think yeah. I think all of the weird CG moving through Gotham, I think just I think it was a little overambitious, and I think by taking those big swings, the fact that you didn't have the budget that you really needed, it really showed. A lot more. Like there are some cheap effects on the Arrowverse shows, but they find a way to work around it. And here, I think they just it feels a little bit too much like a web series and not enough like a regular TV show.
That is savage.
I'm sorry, and but the thing that does save this is the performances. I think all of the actors are good. I think the story is engaging, and for all that those black and white scenes, I actually think that storyline is still very compelling. of getting into Helena's head, and that moment where Barbara has to confront her and convince her that not to kill herself was heavy.
And I like Barbara's appearing as Batwoman or Batgirl, right, in the flashbacks.
Yes.
And in those mental scapes. I don't know. I wondered if they were going to explore some of that. If they were going to explore the loss and the anger and things like that she feels, or if she is she is who she is, and she has made her peace, and she is doing what she can, to fight crime as she can. I was that was a very interesting character for me.
Yeah. So, all right. Is there anything more that you don't think
they
we've
mentioned
touched?
Spidey senses? LOL.
Yeah, and also the bad guy for this episode, Chris, played by Chris Ellis, playing Larry Ketterly. I was a little disappointed that he wasn't a classic Batman villain. I feel like it's a little bit of Scarecrow, a little bit of Mad Hatter, but not really either.
Was Smallville just sucking up all the bad guys? They had all the IP.
Well, more so, it's like, we're not going to name the bad guys. Like, that was, because this is a serious show, so they're going to have all those kooky powers, but we're not doing code names here. And I think that's the one thing from Smallville that this show kept. But yeah, Birds of Prey, an interesting what if, an interesting could have been.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I have really enjoyed these retro picks. This was fun.
Cool. Yeah. And now, what does this make you feel about the Birds of Prey movie that's coming out next month?
I literally could not be more excited about the Birds of Prey movie before I watched this episode, so it has no impact on my level of intense, vibrating excitement for that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I think it made me excited. There was a new trailer that dropped for that this week, which was,
and the soundtrack also.
Yeah, just incredible. Margot Robbie just looks like everything people were saying about Joaquin Phoenix in the lead up to the Joker. That's actually how I feel about Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn.
Right? Oh, we haven't really talked about it, but Ed, I don't have the strength to watch Joker win all these awards and hear the Joaquin speeches. I don't want to do it.
Well, we'll see. Maybe Taron Egerton will come through for us.
I've never pulled harder for Elton John in anything in my life.
So all right. Anything more you think we need to say about the episode?
No, this was a delightful throwback to a simpler time that feels really, really far away in the year of our Lord 2020.
All right. Let's then let's get into well, we already did the news, so now it's time for our
winner of the week, man.
Winner of the week.
I can go first.
Sure.
Mine is easy. It's Rachel Scarsden, who played Dinah in this and plays Alice on Batwoman. I think it's very cool that she was on a WB DC property in 2002, and in 2019 she was cast in a CW DC property as the bad guy. But maybe like a redeemable bad guy, but like she's got reasons. It's a complicated backstory. I thought that was very cool. So good for you, Rachel.
Yeah, and my winner of the week is Dina Meyer. As Barbara Gordon, aka the Oracle, aka Batgirl. I thought her performance had the most depth. I thought she was very grounded in this, and like she really is the core. And that's the one character that stays from the comics, and it's one of my favorite comic book characters. I just feel like there's a lot to explore there of someone who was a hero, and then all of a sudden, has the use of their legs taken away. But she still does what she can. And I feel like that the way that characters in the comics really transcended through in this show. And it's the one element that's not going to be in the movie that I will sorely miss.
Yeah, very. That you picked up on a lot of what I felt, not having watched the whole show or being a comics reader. That felt like such an interesting character. So I'm going to watch more of this when I get a chance. So there.
All right. So, Sarah, we did an episode.
We did an episode. They're going to be longer next week, folks. Buckle up.
All right. And that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Lily O'Hare.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, the Wicked Theory Podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!